afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Thursday. Nice fall day out there today.
We're lucky.
We are lucky. Very lucky indeed. We'll get to that in a second. But first, topping our news today, there's a new way to get help that doesn't require domestic violence sufferers to speak at all. Our Brady Mallory tells us more.
Folks looking for more information on how to live a healthy, active lifestyle gathered in Madison today.
And Ian has been downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm, but that does not mean it's not dangerous anymore. And Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is here with an update on Ian. What a storm it was.
It still is. That's a part of Florida that really hasn't gotten hit very hard from hurricanes in the past, but this was the exception. Let's start out by taking a look, first of all, at the rainfall. This is just incredible, and you can very clearly see where the center of the storm went. The heaviest rainfall fell almost right over the center of the storm from just north of Fort Myers and south of Tampa up through Orlando and to just south of Daytona Beach. Take a look at these radar rainfall estimates. Around 20 inches between just south and west of Orlando, and then about a foot of rain up toward Daytona Beach. Now, as we take a look at where Ian is, this is high-resolution Doppler radar. You can see the rain bands just barely making it onshore in far eastern Florida and eastern portions of Georgia. The main center of circulation is just offshore, but future track rainfall shows that as Ian comes back onshore, it'll spread another swath of 3 to 5 inches or more of rain from Charleston, South Carolina, up through Charlotte and into Roanoke, Virginia, into the mountainous areas around West Virginia. Right now, it's actually back up to a hurricane. Now, a minimal hurricane, maximum winds 75 miles per hour. This update right at the top of the hour. The storm back out over the open waters. Most of the precipitation is north of the center. The latest forecast track from the National Hurricane Center brings it onshore near Charleston, South Carolina, as a minimal hurricane. Maximum winds 80 miles an hour with gusts to 100 miles per hour. And then you can see it's mainly the rain as the storm kind of winds itself down across western portions of West Virginia. Hurricane warnings in effect over much of the eastern portion of the Georgia and South Carolina area. Around here, much quieter. The air gets lifted up, moves northward, and sinks, and very little in the way of precipitation or cloud cover. Last night, temperatures mid-30s for lows here, 35 in Madison. The growing season pretty much has ended north of the Dells. Right now, temperatures are in the lower to middle 60s across southern Wisconsin. Madison, right now it's 62 degrees across Dane County, 64 in Waunakee, 65 degrees in Verona. Otherwise, look for mostly clear skies to develop this evening as temperatures drop into the upper 40s. I don't think it'll be quite as cold for tomorrow morning. I'll tell you how cold it'll get in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, check that. Thank you. First at 4, Florida's governor is calling Hurricane Ian a 500-year flood event.
Ian, as Gary was just mentioning, is now a hurricane Category 1 and still wreaking havoc in parts of eastern Florida and now heading toward the Carolinas.
Kristen Benavides has the latest from Orlando.
Sanibel Island streets looked like rivers the day after the southwestern Florida community took a direct hit from Hurricane Ian. The powerful storm caused flooding and fires and destroyed a chunk of the causeway, cutting off access to the barrier island.
It got hit with really biblical storm surge, and it washed away roads, it washed away structures.
Nearby Fort Myers also suffered widespread devastation. Downtown business owners surveyed the damage. Storm surge flooded the entire first floor of WISC-TV, the CBS affiliate in Fort Myers, knocking the station off the air. State officials say the next couple of days are going to be critical for response teams, and they are urging people not to survey the damage themselves.
Let the crews get in there, do what they need to do. We're coming in full force. We've got a lot of people coming in there. We need you out of our way so we can get our job done.
While no longer a hurricane, the storm is far from over. In St. Augustine on the East Coast, heavy winds and storm surge pummeled the beach community. In Kissimmee, rescue crews brought a trapped family to safety.
They were just holding the baby. Somebody was standing on top of the dining room holding them up. But the water is at least halfway up the house.
Residents along Georgia's coast are getting ready for Ian.
We got all of our bags the last few days. Oh, wow. And we're putting sump pumps in now.
Georgia's governor says while the state will be affected, the damage isn't expected to be nearly as bad as the destruction in Florida. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Orlando, Florida.
And the National Hurricane Center says there is a danger of life-threatening storm surge through tomorrow along the coast of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina.
President Biden today addressed the ongoing federal response to Hurricane Ian during a visit to FEMA headquarters. The president personally thanked workers at the Federal Emergency Management Agency after he received a briefing on the damage from Ian. The president discussed the federal response in a call with Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. The two, for now, put politics aside.
He thanked me for the immediate response we had. He told me how much he appreciated it, said he was extremely happy with what was going on. This is not about whether anything having to do with our disagreements politically. This is about saving people's lives, homes, and businesses.
President Biden says he plans to go to Florida to thank rescue workers in person when conditions allow. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers also pledged to do everything in their power to assist those affected.
As Hurricane Ian pummels parts of Florida, a new study shows roughly half of the hospitals in 25 metropolitan areas are at risk of flooding from a potential storm. According to a story published today in the GeoHealth Journal, a Category 2 storm could bring high waters to these facilities. The findings are based on hospitals located within 10 miles of the Atlantic and Gulf Coast. This is the first such research to look into the risk hurricanes can bring to hospital-based care and treatments. Among the areas where hurricanes could cause concerns are Miami, Boston, New Orleans, and New York City.
A convoy of Wisconsin line workers is on their way to Florida to help the state recover. The group stretches from as far north as Rice Lake, as far east as Kaukauna, and west as Arcadia. About 25% of Wisconsin municipalities sent at least one person down. The convoy is made up of 23 bucket trucks and a tree trimmer, and the group will be down there a minimum of 2 weeks, but could extend it past a month.
It's going to be a lot of restoration work from aftermath from Hurricane Ian. When we go down there, we don't know what to expect. We have calls every day with Florida to see what we'll be walking into. We plan to be down there on Friday and work side by side with Smyrna Beach and their utility commission over there.
The crews only got notice that they were headed to Florida on Monday, but all crews were ready to go that night.
If you're in an abusive situation and you feel like you don't have a voice, there's a new way to get help that doesn't require you to speak at all.
Domestic Abuse Intervention Services and Dane County officials are launching a new 24/7 text helpline.
Our Brady Mallory shows us why supporters say it'll meet the need in the community. Brady?
Well, the Days executive director says the idea came after calls to the help center drastically declined during the pandemic due to victims having to shelter at home with their abusers and not being able to get away to make a phone call. Now, here's where the texting comes in. The hope is this text line will allow people to contact Days for help discreetly and confidentially. It also could help people who are deaf, hard of hearing, and others who just prefer texting.
It also improves access for a younger generation of victims who are more likely to text for assistance than to call. We know that intimate partner violence is highest in terms of the demographic of women between the ages of 16 to 24. They're at the most risk of intimate partner violence.
Here's how it works. Days says text 608-420-4638. Now that message will show up on a screen in its support center, allowing staff to respond as soon as the message comes in. And then the messages will also be deleted from the Days system after the interaction is over to protect the confidentiality of the victim. Once again, that number is 608-420-4638.
Brady, thank you. Donations are the fuel for political campaigns. Run out of money, and your campaign runs out of steam.
The money comes from a variety of places, including small dollar donations from your average voter.
But as Will Keneally found out, we've seen some changes as voters take out their pocketbooks this election cycle. Will?
That's right. So Wisconsinites have a lot of latitude on how much they can donate to campaigns, up to $20,000. But we want to look at those small donations. So we looked at donations that were less than $100 that came from an individual or anonymous donor. That doesn't include any money coming in from the candidate themselves or an outside committee. If we take a look at those donations to gubernatorial candidates, the overall amount coming in is higher this year than 4 years ago. But those smaller dollar donations have tapered off slightly. So why is that? We spoke with Matthew Rothschild, who tracks money in Wisconsin politics.
Well, there's no real incentive for small donors to give at this point at all, because their small donation is a drop in the bucket and pretty meaningless to candidates, except when they say, you know, we have $100,000 or 100,000 donors.
And it is likely the case, too, where that base of support might not translate directly to votes, which again shows how important those big donors are to candidates and why Rothschild says they may be courting them over smaller donors. And we see that in the data, too. Small dollar donors make up a smaller piece of the pie. We'll have more on that coming up tonight at 5.
We will see you at 5, Will. Thank you. Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, appeared in person voluntarily today before the January 6th committee. Committee members first sent Thomas a letter requesting an interview back in June after learning that she communicated with former Trump lawyer John Eastman, who helped devise a strategy to try to upend the 2020 election results. CBS News has also reported Thomas exchanged text messages with the former president's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, about efforts to overturn the election.
Whether it involves the wife of a Supreme Court justice or anyone else, if they have information or a role in an effort to overturn an election, yes, they're not excluded from examination.
Thomas's lawyer said in a statement she is eager to answer the committee's questions and clear up any misconceptions about her work relating to the 2020 election. This week also marked the start of the highest profile trial yet related to the Capitol assault. Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes and 4 others in the far-right militia group face charges of seditious conspiracy.
Well, for the next 2 days, cyclists and those looking for tips on healthier living are gathering at the Madison Concourse Hotel. The 2022 Wisconsin Healthy Communities Summit features experts from state agencies, speakers with industry insights, and the ability to enjoy a variety of Madison's outdoor recreation opportunities.
It felt like a really natural fit to pick Madison. There's so many dedicated cyclists, but not just cyclists. You know, it's healthy communities as a whole, so people who enjoy the outdoors, people who are invested in their own health and the health of their kids, their grandparents, their neighbors, everything.
Tickets are available online at the website at the bottom of your screen.
It's a little hard to read that.
It is.
GiveSmart.com.
All right. Most school districts and bus companies are dealing with driver shortages.
We know someone who is doing something to help the situation. He's our News 3 photojournalist, Mark Schilling. If you've ever considered being a school bus driver, Mark will share some advice when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
It's A1 Furniture's anniversary sale with up to 43% off store-wide and 43 months free financing. Plus, get tax included on purchases over $9.99. Huge selection in stock now at A1 Furniture.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes, and as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And I did this to my father. We were at home. So we applied it to his under eye bags. And let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view. And now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm. Please send me more." And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. The way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
The founder of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Don't miss A1 Furniture's anniversary sale. Save up to 43% off name brand mattresses and get 43 months free financing. Plus, get tax included on purchases over $9.99. Huge selection in stock now at A1 Furniture.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
Welcome back. No wonder dogs have earned the title of man's best friend.
A new study says dogs seem to have the ability to smell when people are feeling stressed. Previous studies have already confirmed that dogs can tell when a person is scared or happy. So for this round of research, those competing scents were eliminated. The findings are based on 36 people whose breath and sweat samples were collected during and after performing a task. The dogs got the right emotion nearly 94% of the time. Our four-legged friends have 220 million olfactory receptors, which is more than quadruples the amount that humans have.
Just take them for a walk.
Yeah, that's true.
Stop at everything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you've heard of Band-Aids, Tylenol, Benadryl, and Johnson's baby powder.
But here's a new one, Kenvue. Johnson & Johnson is splitting into two companies next year, keeping some brands and putting others under Kenvue, which will have consumer health products. J&J will keep the medical devices and medications. As for the name Kenvue, the company says Ken is an English word for knowledge, primarily used in Scotland, and view references sight.
American businesses are still adding workers. The Labor Department reports the number of first-time unemployment benefit claims tumbled to 193,000 last week. Weekly claims haven't fallen below 200,000 May of this year, and the amount was much lower than the 215,000 applications forecasted by economists. Analysts say this shows companies are doing their best to hold on to workers as vacant positions remain high.
Well, stocks gave back all the gains made yesterday as renewed recession jitters permeated Wall Street. The Dow Industrials fell 458 points, closing at 29,225. The Nasdaq fell 314 points, or almost 3%. The S&P 500 dropped 78 points. Don't look at your 401k. Well, nearly every school district in the Madison area continues to be short on bus drivers this year, so if you're interested, they're hiring.
Yeah, and they're offering some pretty good financial incentives, too. Our morning show photojournalist Mark Schilling signed up this year to drive in the afternoons in Mount Horeb, and he joined us earlier today to share what it takes to become a school bus driver.
Earlier this summer, a lot of school activities and kid stuff the bills were adding up. And because my kids aren't riding the bus anymore, they can get around on their own, that freed up time so I could actually do this bus ride. It's something I've been thinking about doing for a few years, actually, but I had even younger nieces and nephews getting off of the bus near my house to stay with me, so it was more like daddy daycare for a while.
Yeah. Well, good for you. You saw a need and you stepped up to fill it. What did it take? What did you have to do to become a bus driver?
There's a lot of tests.
Really?
The first thing is, and I would recommend working on this a little faster than I did, but get the learner's permit as soon as you can. And you study the CDL manual. You'll get practice tests probably. You go through those and work on those when you can, because the sooner you get that learner's permit in your hand, the sooner you can get on the bus.
So you do need a CDL license. That's
Yes.
the first thing to know.
Yeah.
And how long did that take you?
I'd say the whole process took me about a month and an extra week, I guess. Which is why I say, like, get that learner's permit, you know, even sooner.
Okay.
But after I got the permit, it was maybe 2 weeks of driving around and learning, memorizing these routines about, you know, what to do when you're at the railroad tracks, and especially the drop-offs and all of the safety procedures that you have to go through and list for list. And then there's some driving tests, a cone course that you have to do, mostly backing up a big bus, and then just getting around town safely. And, you know, it really is like a huge car, and you have to just be mindful of, you know, some extra turn radius things and the big tail on the back of the bus.
What was it like for you when you did your first route?
I was mostly just worried about making sure I hit every stop. You know, I didn't
Get
want to
every
forget.
kid.
Right, like I remember that bush in the mailbox, and that's the next one, and yeah, keeping track of the kids, you know, that can be challenging too. But now I've gotten to the point already where I see, you know, so and so didn't get on the bus, so I know I don't have to turn off that road and make that stop, and I can just get to the next one quicker. And you kind of get the feel for that. But if when in doubt, just make the stop.
It's a lot of responsibility, though, isn't it? Are you responsible as well for disciplining kids and keeping everything on the bus going well?
There's a level of responsibility, but I also, it says right there on the bus, riding the bus is a privilege. And I can, if kids act up, I can just say, sit here next to me now, and that'll be the way you finish the trip. And, you know, honestly, we have cameras on the bus. If things go awry and you just, you know, tell your manager, it's like, okay, this is a problem, and then they don't get to ride the bus anymore. And then it becomes a problem for their family and stuff. And I think the kids know that. You know, when they get off the bus, they're grateful. They'll turn to me and make eye contact and say, thank you for driving us. And that really helps out.
Oh, that's really good to hear. What about the financial incentive? Are there sign-on bonuses or perks to becoming a school bus driver?
I've seen that every company's different. Ours in particular gave a $1,000 sign-on bonus, which I'll get after 90 days of, you know, proving that I'm in on this. And then you get about, I think it's about $26, $27 a route. And so that's about an hour and a half of work there. And then, so that's 5 days out of the week. And then on top of that, you get paid if you sign on to do the extra trips. And that's really where the shortage is. Particularly is getting athletes and academics and musicians and artists to these, you know, opportunities, you know, out around the area. It has been rewarding. And one of the things when I thought about getting a part-time job to make some extra cash is I just didn't want it to be a job where I just got to grind out, you know, some hours at a company or whatever. You know, this is also helping out, and that makes it just feel more fulfilling.
Good for you, and good to hear there's good kids in Mount Horeb. Be nice to Mr. Schilling. He's a good guy. Congratulations, Mark, and thanks for staying a little bit late and talking to us about it. It's a great opportunity, and they're still hiring now all across the area.
Yep.
All right, drive safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Have a awesome day.
Thank
Good for him.
I know. He has 3 kids in the Mount Horeb School District.
So he's used to being around kids.
Right, yeah, I guess you have to have that, you know, that muscle to be able to be around kids. But there really is some good money that you can make, like Mark said, with those extra trips. I'm so intimidated by the size of the bus, but Mark said it's not that bad. It's really not that bad.
That's a big car.
Yeah, right.
Really big car.
Really big.
All right, still to come at 4 this week's Traveler Throwback Thursday.
We go back to 1990 and meet a retired farmer doing his part to make his world a more beautiful place. That's when Live at 4 continues.
Ashley's Fall Scratch-Off event is ending soon. Shop in-store discounts up to 20% off furniture sale prices, plus an extra 55% off on select Beauty Rest mattresses. Or buy a Tempur-Pedic mattress for as little as $1 a day. Hurry into Ashley today.
At TSR, we transform your old, beat-up concrete into a beautiful, durable surface in one day. Hi, I'm Joey with TSR Concrete Coatings. We specialize in garages, patios, pool decks, basements, and more. We don't just coat over your old concrete. We start by grinding it down, then we apply the base coat and chip and seal it with our own proprietary sealant that will never chip or peel. Our coatings are beautiful, durable, ridiculously easy to clean, and are backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. Our in-house team is ready to answer any questions that you have before and after the install. And right now on all projects, we're offering 15% off. Call the number shown below or visit our website for your new floor today. One-day floor.
Remember this? Forecasts are predicting an unreasonably cold and snowy winter. Now's the time to winterproof your home with USA Insulation. 35% more efficient than traditional insulation. Our foam in your walls keeps the cold air out and your warm air in. It's like putting a coat around your entire home. Call now before winter and get a $500 early bird discount.
USA Insulation.
I received a call that my granddaughter had been hit. She suffered a serious brain injury and nearly died. The driver should have been in jail. Mandela Barnes supports no cash bail that puts criminals like Darrell Brooks back on the streets. He's more worried about criminals than victims. Mandela Barnes doesn't have the judgment to keep our communities safe.
Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
The Ashley Stores of Madison are hosting the biggest warehouse liquidation sale ever, and both stores are packed with deals. Find massive savings and more. You can save more than 90% off. Everything must go at both Madison area Ashley stores.
Well, take a look at this. See Bot Run. Run, Bot, Run. A Guinness World Speed Record is now owned by a cutting-edge creation that's half insane and half Usain Bolt. Cassie, this hoofing bipedal half-bot, is the work of Agility Robotics, a spin-off of Oregon State University. Cassie operates with no cameras or sensors, but rather through machine learning, and was engineered to have a running behavior that's being described as strikingly similar to human biomechanics. That's be good for Halloween.
What will they think of next?
And it's just the legs, which is always a little creepy too.
And just see me running down the street like that.
Not my human biomechanics.
No.
So Ian is a hurricane again.
Ian's back to a hurricane. I mean, it's not going to be nearly as powerful as what it happened when it hit western Florida, but still, it's going to bring a lot of rain, some wind along the coast in the Carolinas and up the East Coast. But for us, we're actually benefiting from it.
Right.
I'll tell you a little bit more about that.
Our weather's been beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks to Ian, ironically.
Right. Yep, I'll be back with our full forecast in just a couple of minutes.
With Pick and Save Fresh Perks, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. You also earn fuel points on every purchase to save big at the pump. Pick and Save Fresh Perks. All you do is win big, big savings. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Nothing beats a great night's sleep on a new Beauty Rest mattress from Steinhoffels. Right now, you can get a Beauty Rest Queen mattress for only $449, or get $200 in Steinhoffels cash when you upgrade to the redesigned Beauty Rest Black. More luxurious and comfortable than ever. And with Steinhoffels special financing, your mattress just got more affordable. Isn't it time you got a great night's sleep? Relax. It's Steinhoffels.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
I worked on the force for 30 years. I've seen plenty of politicians, but Mandela, he's the real deal. Mandela doesn't want to defund the police. He's very supportive of law enforcement, and I know his objective is to make every community in the state of Wisconsin better. I trust him to get the resources that we need to keep people safe and to reduce crime in the first place. As a retired cop, I want someone like Mandela. Mandela is the right guy for the job.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
With the Pick and Save app, no matter where you order free pickup, you get the same great deals as you'd get in our stores. So start your cart today. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
While all the weather attention has been on Hurricane Ian down in the southeastern part of the country, three things you need to know around here. Look for dry weather with not much rain through most of next week. Just a slight chance for a shower in the late Tuesday night, Wednesday time frame, and then maybe Sunday of next weekend. But temperatures will be seasonably mild over the next couple of days. We'll be back into the upper 60s for tomorrow and Saturday, mid-60s for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. But then another shot of cooler weather arrives at the end of next week. Temperatures drop back into the mid to upper 50s by Thursday and Friday, and nighttime low temperatures could drop into the upper 30s again. Low temperatures last night, pretty chilly across much of the upper Midwest. For all intents and purposes, really, the growing season has ended north of the Dells. Many locations saw temperatures in the lower 30s or even upper 20s. Madison, 35 degrees. So there was some frost, mainly in low-lying areas. But 30s were found even as far south as parts of central Illinois and central Indiana. But as we take a look at weather track, you can see our upper-level winds are from the west-northwest, but there's a large area of high pressure that's sitting across the eastern part of the country. And part of that is because of Ian. A very powerful hurricane or tropical weather system. You hear me say this about every year, but it lifts a lot of air up into the atmosphere, and that air eventually has to sink. So it usually flows out ahead of the storm and sinks and causes the air to dry out, and that's exactly what we have here. A large area of high pressure, pretty much controlling the weather over much of the northeastern, north central part of the United States. Out west, still getting a few showers in the mountains, but by and large, other than Ian, the rest of the country is pretty quiet. Right now, there's that large area of high pressure sitting across Michigan and Ontario, but its effects really extend from the Dakotas all the way to the East Coast. As we zoom into our part of the Midwest, you can see those temperatures right now. Lower 60s here, around 60 near Lake Michigan, but out to the west, a couple degrees warmer. Upper 60s to around 70. I think we'll be in the upper 60s for the next couple of days. So planning your night, look for low temperatures around 40 in Madison and Middleton. You get outside of the city area, temperatures drop into the upper 30s, but probably not cold enough for a widespread frost. 39 Waunakee, 39 for the overnight low in Sun Prairie. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, temperatures ranging from around 40 in Platteville, 41 in Janesville. Still in the mid to upper 30s up north of the Dells, but again, I think most of the plants have had a hard freeze there. High temperature tomorrow, 67 with sunny skies. Might be a little patchy fog early in the morning. 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures upper 60s for Friday and Saturday, mid 60s for Sunday, and then as we head into the latter part of next week, notice after getting those mid 60s for Tuesday and Wednesday with some slight chances for showers, those temperatures drop back off again, mid to upper 50s by Thursday and Friday, maybe a little frost by early on Friday morning, but you know, it's that time of year you got to start expecting it.
A dry weekend?
Pretty much so, yeah.
It's been 8 wetlands in a row.
Well, I'm here, so we got to make sure it's dry now.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Well, most of us do what we can to make our little corner of the world a bit more livable.
We met a retired farmer back in 1990 who was doing just that while overcoming remarkable odds. Here's this week's Traveler Throwback Thursday.
He has farmed all his life, but having to walk with 2 canes
made farming a little too difficult for Sid Norland. It hasn't, however, stopped him.
In another year or two, I figured to have the biggest and best rock garden built by a man over 65 years old walking with 2 canes in the state of Wisconsin.
Over the past 12 years, Sid has created something remarkable. He has planted thousands of flowers, brought in hundreds of rocks. He calls it the Primrose Gardens. Everyone who sees it calls it beautiful.
I had 145 different kinds of irises.
Yellow and purple and rose, irises and daisies and peonies and geraniums. The gardens stretch from the roadside back 400 feet.
One Sunday, there was 53 cars that stopped in here to see the flowers.
They stopped from all over the country.
There's 2 from California.
Word has gotten out about Sid Norland's homegrown botanical gardens. Oh, it's nothing fancy, and Sid is no horticultural expert.
I don't know the names of too many flowers. I forget them.
But you like them?
Well, I love them.
But he loves them. Up back behind the house, Sid is building a waterfall, building it out of rocks he's collected throughout the years. He moves the 500- and 600-pound stones by himself.
I gotta get my weight on it. See, I had a chunk of wood under there. Put that ahead here, just right.
Every year, he adds just a little more. A few more plants, a wishing well, a couple of more colored rocks. At the end of the day's work, he can look out and enjoy. Why does he do this? Well, there's a sign on one of the walks, a sign his son gave him. The kiss of the sun for pardon, the song of the birds for mirth. One is nearer God's heart in a garden than anywhere else on earth. That's why. Traveling near Belleville, I'm Mark Kay, WISC News 3.
Oh,
yes,
beautiful little sanctuary.
Yes, he's no longer with us, but his work will live on.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, coming up next here on Live at 4, we'll take a look inside the hurricane with help of the hurricane hunters. Wait till you see this.
And then coming up next hour at 5, Deerfield High School students walked out today over what they say are concerns for their safety. Our Catherine Merck will tell us how this all started, coming up tonight at 5.
It's the Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale on now, with a huge in-stock inventory of top brands for every room in your home, with Lazy Boy recliners from $3.99 and always free delivery. The Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale. Don't miss it.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward?
Just for saving?
Mm-hmm. And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $300 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book?
How to get a $300 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
Women are being watched, tracked through their cell phones. Tim Michaels Families Foundation funds a radical anti-abortion group that tracks the cell phone data of women who visit Planned Parenthood clinics, then tries to stop them. Michaels wants to ban abortion even when a mother's health is at risk, and he's using his wealth to track and harass women. If he's doing this now, what do you think he'd do as governor?
I'm attorney David Gruber. Our firm is helping individuals exposed to contaminated water at Marine Corps Base, Camp Lejeune, in Jacksonville, North Carolina. If you or a loved one lived or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987 and have developed any of the cancers or medical conditions listed, you may be entitled to compensation. Call Gruber Law Offices today for a free consultation. One call, that's all.
Fall weather is here, and Menards has what you need for your lawn. Applying premium all-lawn food fertilizer to your yard will help prepare it for winter dormancy and ensure a healthy lawn in the spring. A 17-pound bag covers up to 5,000 square feet. It's $9.99 after 11% off. Keep your garage organized with our great selection of Suncast storage products, like the Platinum 4-piece storage cabinet system. Get 11% off all Suncast storage products at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
It's the Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale on now, with a huge in-stock inventory of top brands for every room in your home, including all new power lift chairs and always free delivery. The Portage Store's anniversary sale. Don't miss it.
New at 5, a community is outraged at the mishandling of a school threat. Students walk out after the school failed to address a video promising murder.
Temperatures won't be as cold tonight as they were the last couple of nights, so the threat for frost is a little lower. Expect plenty of sunshine for Friday and the weekend. I'll tell you how mild it'll get at 5.
And ahead at 6, Wisconsin Democrats react to Republican statements to reject the upcoming special session to allow for a vote on abortion rights tonight at 6.
It's a live look to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
It's beautiful right now.
It is, but Ian headed that way.
Yeah, I won't be getting much sleep tonight. My parents are in Charleston.
That's right now bullseye.
Right.
But they'll be okay. It's not as nearly as bad as it was.
Right. Just going to be a lot of rain.
A lot of rain. Oh, while Florida residents fled the incoming storm for higher ground, government scientists flew into the center of Hurricane Ian the day before it made landfall.
These hurricane hunters now have technology that could help save lives.
Ben Tracy shows us the tool that could lead to more precise hurricane forecasts.
There goes the fence. Holy cow.
This is what it's like to stare a monster hurricane straight in the eye. Some team members from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration say Ian was the roughest hurricane flight they've ever experienced.
Yeah, we're good.
For decades now, the government has been flying hurricane hunting aircraft in and around some of the fiercest storms on the planet. They drop sensors to measure a hurricane's strength and help forecasters on the ground predict where it's headed. But there is one place scientists can't go: the so-called boundary layer, below 3,000 feet, where the air and the ocean meet, a violent churning cauldron of wind and salt water.
We as humans maybe can't go down there, but we can bring our technology down there and send that data back so that it can be used.
Joe Cione is a lead meteorologist at NOAA. Inside this 3.5-foot tube is his new secret weapon, an unmanned hurricane hunting drone.
So this drone can literally go fly around the inside of a hurricane?
Yes.
It's called the Altia 600. It weighs about 25 pounds and can fly for nearly 4 hours, feeding back real-time data to detect what scientists call intensity change.
So how strong is the storm right now, and how strong will the storm become?
The fear is rapid intensification, when hurricanes become catastrophic Category 4 or 5 storms just before landfall, giving coastal communities little time to prepare. Research shows Atlantic hurricanes are now intensifying more quickly because of warmer ocean waters, likely due to climate change. Our warmer atmosphere means they also hold more water, and rising oceans can make storm surge more devastating. So when they dropped the drone into a hurricane for the first time this week, they knew it was more than a science experiment.
By having these observations that we would otherwise not have, we can tell the forecasters and the emergency managers if the storm is as strong or weaker than they think.
Unfortunately, you don't get to use these things twice. Once all that data is transmitted back to the plane, the drone actually ditches itself into the ocean. NOAA also has a fleet of what are called sail drones. These are now providing the first ever data and video from the surface of the ocean inside a hurricane. Ben Tracy, CBS News.
Well said. Whoa.
Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. It's incredible.
I can't imagine being in that plane, though.
No.
No.
I'd be scared to death.
Well, in its first flight, the drone flew as low as 2,100 feet and recorded wind speeds of 188 miles per hour. Well, still to come for surviving Ian.
A vacationing Madison resident gives us her perspective on riding out the storm in Fort Myers when Live at 4 continues.
fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
I worked in law enforcement for more than 30 years. I know what it takes to keep our community safe. Mandela Barnes stands with Defund the Police and supports no cash bail that releases dangerous criminals back into our communities. Barnes supports sanctuary cities and spending millions of taxpayer dollars on illegal immigrants. Take it from me, the bad guys belong in jail, and Mandela Barnes belongs nowhere near the Senate.
Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
After a beautiful drive through the hills of southwest Wisconsin, we have arrived at Oakwood Fruit Farm. I can smell the donuts from here. This is a true fall gem. Judy, a fifth-generation fruit farm that couldn't be run more in an organized fashion. I absolutely love this place. All right, now this is truly a local gem out here in southwest Wisconsin, and now I see why. Just tell us all the fabulous things that are in this store.
We have a lot of products to offer. A lot of them we try to stay local within Wisconsin. We make our own caramel apples. We have our own bakery in-house, so we are making apple cider donuts on a daily basis.
And those are really the store's pride and joy.
Very much so. They are very popular and very delicious, and a lot of people will just come to buy donuts and maybe not even walk out with apples.
The apple cider donut. It's a truly perfect masterpiece, and it's warm. Oh.
We grow all of our apples here that are sold, and throughout the season, we have about 20 different varieties of apples. The most popular one is the Honeycrisp. Customers are looking for that as soon as we open our store.
Greg, how perfect is southwest Wisconsin and the topography really for your apple crop?
It's a great area for growing apples. Yeah, it's a very nice area to grow a family and grow apples.
Greg, a big cheers to you from Oakwood Fruit Farm.
We're buzzing into Madison.
Oh, you got it. All right.
All right.
Good work.
Excellent.
Welcome to Dwellings.
Shop our fabulous showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
Well, as we check out First Warn traffic, here's the live view of the Beltline at West Broadway. You can see traffic getting off there, and for good reason. The problem is that there's an issue, traffic accident near Stoughton Road, and right now the eastbound Beltline is backed up to around at least Park Street. We were seeing delays back to Verona Road, but right now, 38-minute trip on the eastbound Beltline, about triple the normal time between University Avenue and Interstate. Normal 16 minutes back in the westbound direction. That's your news for now. First Warn traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. The Chicago History Museum is getting spooky just in time for Halloween. There's a new exhibit involving dolls. We're not talking Barbies or Bratz. These are some really creepy dolls. The exhibit is titled Haunted Dolls and History's Horrors. The museum staff hand-selected 15 of the spookiest dolls from their archives and strategically placed them hidden among the thousands of their artifacts on public display. No thanks.
Yes, no.
Well, as we showed you earlier in the newscast, the effect of Hurricane Ian will be felt for months.
A former News 3 employee is among the millions who experienced the storm as it battered Florida.
Ellen Warden was vacationing on Sanibel Island and managed to seek shelter in a Fort Myers hotel, and that's where we find her now live. Ellen, how are you doing?
Hi, Ellen. It's so good to see you and to see that you're safe.
It's good to hear your voices. We are safe. We are in a brick hotel by the airport. We left Sanibel as soon as they suggested as a barrier island that it be evacuated.
And now it's inaccessible. You can't get to it because the bridge is out.
The bridge is out. I think it's only accessible now by helicopter and by boat.
Wow.
And there are people still on the island. So people that didn't evacuate certainly were in harm's way. And there are quite a few people in Fort Myers that didn't evacuate as well. I think there are several trailer parks closer to the water where people have been trapped. I spoke with a couple here who came to the hotel to evacuate and said they were getting texts last night from their neighbors in the trailer park who were asking them for help, that the water was up to their neck, and they couldn't do anything. They couldn't help them because first responders were not able to get out until 9 o'clock last night. The storm was too dangerous, so there were no first responders, and now there are hundreds and thousands here to help.
Oh, that's encouraging. It's so heartbreaking to hear these stories and see these pictures. In Wisconsin, we don't experience hurricanes. What were the last 24 hours like for you?
Well, we got here on Tuesday, and we knew what we were told by news media to expect, so we got water and we got food because we expected the power would go out. Well, 80% of Lee County is out of power right now. It was very quiet on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday it started in the morning, and it just got more and more relentless and loud. We were on the second floor, and we could hear things hitting our window. Luckily, the window leaked a little, but it didn't break. We could hear the roof of the Enterprise rental car next door, the building. We could hear it rolling around in the parking lot, the sheet metal. And if you look behind me, you can see part of the parking lot area that I'm in at the hotel. There's a fallen tree, but more importantly, the parking lot has separated from the water, and there's actually some kind of a power line or a line that's sticking out, that's actually just sticking out. So it has been, the best part, I guess I would say, is everyone in the hotel, from the line repair workers who are here to fix the power, to the people that are just here, have all been helping each other. And that is so heartwarming, because this will be devastating. This is going to be, this is going to take months and months, if not years, to recover from for these folks down here in Lee County.
And this is your first experience with a hurricane?
It is. It is. I've actually lived through 2 tornadoes, but this is my first hurricane. And I would say that this hurricane was like a 24-hour tornado, just unrelentingly ferocious.
Well, unbelievable. Well, we're happy you're safe and you're in a safe place. And are you coming? When do you think you'll get home?
Well, we are by the airport, and our flight is scheduled to go out tomorrow night, but we're supposed to fly through Charlotte, and evidently Ian has developed another eye and strengthening, so I'm not sure we'll get out, but we have options. We could drive our rental car home, or we'll just wait for a flight, but we're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, and the most important thing is you're safe, and it's so good to see. Thank you so much, Ellen. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Look forward to seeing you when you're back home in Madison.
Take care. Well, a final check of your forecast coming up.
It's A1 Furniture's anniversary sale with up to 43% off store-wide and 43 months free financing. Plus, get tax included on purchases over $9.99. Huge selection in stock now at A1 Furniture.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
The founder of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Friends of the Middleton Performing Arts Center present their 2022-23 Community Concert Series, opening the season on October 8th with the Doo-Wop Project, performing oldies and recent hits with a doo-wop twist. Tickets available now. Don't miss it.
Get into the spirits with Madison Magazine. Scare up area ghosts and haunts. Visit the local suppliers of Hollywood's ghoulish props and learn the dark history of campus discrimination. Madison Magazine, online and on newsstands now.
Want to know right now what the weather will be like tomorrow? Download the First Warn Weather app and you'll get my customized forecast for tonight and tomorrow.
The First Warn Weather app. Get it now. Powered by News 3 Now.
Don't miss A1 A1 Furniture's anniversary sale. Save up to 43% off name brand mattresses and get 43 months free financing. Plus, get tax included on purchases over $9.99. Huge selection in stock now at A1 Furniture.
Madison's locally owned family furniture store.
A place where we're supposed to feel safe. It's becoming one of the most deadliest places in America.
Students take action as threats are made against their school. News 3 Now asks what changes Deerfield is demanding for future dangers to their education. Coming up at 5. A local woman's car stolen while at a dealership for repairs.
They took it off-roading.
But the dealer's insurance refuses to cover the damage.
It's crazy and it's wrong.
Leah Linscheid answers a call for action Sunday on News 3 Now at 10.
Here's a live view of the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Skies are mostly sunny there. Temperatures range from around 60 near Lake Michigan to the low 60s in Madison to the middle to upper 60s to the west. 67 right now in Lone Rock. Across Dane County, 64 in Edgerton, 65 in Cross Plains, and 64 degrees in Wanakee. Look for skies to become mostly clear this evening. Temperatures falling into the upper 40s. We'll be right back.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
Ron Johnson's at it again, lying about my taxes. Let's be clear, my taxes are paid in full. But there were times I was getting by on peanut butter sandwiches. And that's why I support a tax cut for the middle class. Put more money in your pockets. Because I know how hard you work. But Johnson used his Senate seat to write a loophole that gave huge tax cuts to himself and his biggest donors, leaving us with crumbs. And that's how we get left behind. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
New Astapro Allergy, now available without a prescription. Astapro is the first and only 24-hour storage-free spray. While other allergy sprays take hours, Astapro starts working in 30 minutes. So you can Astapro and go.
Maybelline New York's Instant Eraser. Our do-it-all concealer. Conceal, contour, correct. Now with up to 12-hour moisturizing wear. Instant Eraser Concealer. Maybelline New York.
With Choice Hotels, there's always a reason to book it. Whatever your reason, save 20% when you stay 2 or more nights at participating locations. Book direct at choicehotels.com. Terms and conditions apply.
So if we're going to spend a third of our lives sleeping, shouldn't we try to get the best sleep possible? That's why Denver Mattress is all about that sleep life. And during the 4-day super sale, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Get a $300 gift when you purchase any Tempur-Pedic, or save up to $200 on our Doctor's Choice lineup. Plus 5 years no interest with no down payment and free shipping right to your door. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right mattress.
It all comes down to the final drive. News 3 Now brings you the big play highlights and scores from Southern Wisconsin high school football action. Don't miss the final drive. Fridays on News 3 Now at 10.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
In today's Final Touch, it's bond auction, that is.
Somebody has very deep pockets. An iconic Aston Martin DB5 replica used for the stunts in the James Bond blockbuster No Time to Die sold at auction last night. Auction house Christie's said the replica stunt car, which is one of only 2 in the world, was purchased by an anonymous telephone bidder for over $3 million. From the Aston Martin stunt car to costumes worn by Daniel Craig, an array of James Bond props and memorabilia have been offered at auction as the film franchise celebrates 60 years. The proceeds from the charity auction will benefit the Prince's Trust in its work with young people in the Prince of Wales Charitable Fund. It supports charities assisting serving and former members of the UK intelligence agencies. Online bidding for the other memorabilia remains until next Wednesday. That's James Bond Day. Cool car. That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.